If you are given a free buffet while on a diet, would you say no? Today, I'm going to show you how to enjoy a buffet and still lose weight. So this just happened to me a couple of days ago. I was given a free buffet, which meant that I could come in for a lunch buffet anytime I want. But the thing is, I'm trying to lose weight. And initially I was like thinking, how am I going to go about doing this? So I came up with this system for me to be able to eat and enjoy my buffet while being on a deficit. And it boils down to pretty much 3 steps. But before we dive into that, we've got to understand how fat loss basically works. So fat loss basically works when you are on a caloric deficit. That means you burn more energy than you consume, or you consume less energy than you burn. That's actually the same thing. When you go to a buffet while trying to lose weight, it's not about being the most perfect with your diet. It's actually just trying to damage control. So here is the step-by-step system that I use to enjoy my buffet. Step number 1 is to begin with a protein source. So the first thing that you want to consume at a buffet, go straight for the protein. You want to consume at least about 2 to 3 palm-sized servings of protein, which will give you about 60 to 80 grams of protein in total. As with every meal, your priority should be consuming more protein. Reason being, protein is going to keep you satiated. It will help to prevent you from overeating. Protein sources can be things like chicken, fish, meat, soy, and whatnot. And once you've settled your plate of protein, you can move on to the next step. Step number 2, having 1 to 2 fists of vegetables on the plate. You want to consume vegetables not only because it keeps you satiated and fuller for a longer period of time, you also want to try and get in some micronutrients like your vitamins, your minerals, and all that. So once you've consumed your protein and your vegetable portions, this is where you have a decision to make. Step number 3, carbs. Now, this can be a little bit tricky. You have to make the decision whether you want to go for dessert or you want to go for carbs. And there's a lot more things to consider, which I'll explain after this. Generally, when it comes to carb sources, you can opt for things like rice, breads, pastas. Or if you are craving for something a little bit sweeter, you can opt for a dessert instead. You want to be a little bit careful on the carb sources because it can be quite easy to overshoot. And that's why we start off with protein and vegetables first, because you'll probably be a little bit full now and you'll be able to manage and control your carb portions a little bit better. So when it comes to carb sources, you want to try and keep it between 1 to 2 cupped handfuls of carbs. So this can be things like rice, corn, pastas. Now, if you choose the dessert option because you want something sweet, this is where you have to sacrifice a bit of your carbs because desserts are mainly sugars and sugars are carbs, and I don't have to explain any further. And when it comes to dessert, you want to sit down and think first before you actually go for dessert. Kind of plan out what you really want to eat or what you really want to have, and then just stick with that. So like what I did in my buffet, instead of going for carbs, I went for dessert. So I had like 2 scoops of ice cream, a teaspoon of granola on top with a couple sprinkles of roasted almonds, and a quarter of a waffle. And that's basically it. Now there are a couple of important considerations that you want to think of when you do this. When it comes to protein sources, you want to be aware of fat content that's in the protein. So if you can, opt for something that's a bit leaner so that you may have a bit more room to go for your dessert. And if you're having it with gravy, try to go for little to no gravy. If you're having steak with gravy, that's not real steak. When it comes to vegetables, you want to be aware of the dressing if you're having a salad. If you're having stir fry, make sure to drain the vegetables out. Don't let any of those like juices and liquids onto your plate. And if you're having a normal carb sauce, let's try and keep it lean and clean. Opt for plain rice and plain pasta or bread. Go for the lower fat options if that's available. However, if you want dessert, you gotta skip the carb portion. And that is how you enjoy a buffet while trying to lose weight. Remember, it's all about damage control. It's not about being perfect. If you accidentally slipped up from this, it's okay. Next meal, just get back on it. Try and do some damage control in the next meal, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you consume in one meal. What matters is how consistent you are in your other meals. One bad meal is not gonna ruin your diet. So don't worry. Just get back on it on your next meal. Now, if you like this video, I've got more tips that I want to share with you when it comes to losing weight, training, getting more athletic, getting stronger, getting leaner. I have a free resource linked down in the description below. It's 30 days of 30 short lessons delivered straight to your email inbox. Hope you found this helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video.